everyone in this room at a brand has the opportunity to fight a monster as well. Every cult brand is fighting a monster or monsters in this world. That is how they have been able to achieve greatness. That's how they have been able to gain an emotional connection with their customers and their employees. If you attended last year, you heard Peter Allen from Tim Hortons. In his presentation, he started to kind of talk about the monster that Tim Hortons faces. And he says that if you are aspiring to become a cult brand, you must be clear who your monster is. Because if you can identify what you're fighting against, you know what you're fighting for. For Tim Hortons, he said that the monster is living in a disconnected world. Said that Tim Hortons fights this injustice of us living in a world where we do not know our neighbors. Nobody roots for Goliath, is what Wilt used to say, because whatever he did was never good enough. Whatever the biggest brands out there do, it's never good enough because people expect you to be great if you're a big brand. So what if you are a big brand? Can you get people to root for you? Yes, you can. Intuit TurboTax has over 60% market share in the tax prep market. Over 60%. They are the big dog. And they achieved the big dog status because they were out there trying to reduce fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They wanted to make their tax software so simple, it would be easy for anybody to do their taxes. And that's just it. We never say, I'm going to have fun with my taxes. No, we're saying, I got to go do my taxes. They pioneered the Q&A format for getting your tax work done. And lo and behold, in the process, they became huge. They became the Goliath of the industry. However, in talking with Christine Morrison, who is a communications director there and has been there for quite a few years, we ended up learning that there's something driving Intuit TurboTax so much more these days. And it is an injustice that they are out there fighting. This big dog is fighting the injustice of people having to pay too much to get their taxes done. TurboTax realized that for most people, their income tax rebate check is the biggest paycheck of the year. What TurboTax also knows is that doing taxes isn't fun, as I said. It's doing taxes. So what they started pioneering a few years ago was holding tax parties. They piloted this program by having some of their employees have some of their friends and connections come over, about 10 people, 12 people, sitting at the kitchen table, all doing their taxes together using TurboTax. And in the process, Christine told us the story of how there was this Hispanic lady who was there. And she had had someone do her taxes for 10, 12 years. And this person who had done her taxes had passed away. So she was caught. She didn't know who was going to help. Lo and behold, she was able to go to a tax party and get help. And when this lady was done with her taxes, she says, okay, where's my $500? She went, okay, where's my $500? My taxes are done. Because what had been happening for the past 10 years was the person who was doing her taxes would automatically give her, okay, your taxes are filed, here's your rebate, $500. The reality is, she was due thousands of dollars. Awful. The poorest people pay the most to get their taxes done. That is the injustice that TurboTax wants to fight. The poorest people having to pay the most. And so that is what is driving the Goliath of the industry, is realizing that what can they do to make sure that the people who are filling out their tax forms are not going to get cheated on. If you go to some of these tax shops, it is a rather expensive option. But TurboTax wants to make it simple and to make sure that their customers get the most for the least amount of money possible. When I was at Starbucks, Howard Schultz would always ask us to do this. How can we as a company get big but stay small? And in this quote here, it goes to a Goliath wanting to become a David again. A company can grow big without losing the passion and personality that built it, but only if it's driven by values and by people, not by profits.